Hey everyone, Once Bitten here with another game for the Bretonnian campaign. It's been a long time, but I've been doing a lot of traveling and then going to tournaments using my Empire army. And I finally had a chance this last weekend to pull out the Bretonnians. This is actually the Friday night before the Southern Assault tournament. In that tournament, I was one of the tournament organizers, so I wasn't going to play in it. But I went the day before to set up, took my army with me, so that if other players for the tournament showed up and wanted to play, we could get a game in, and it happened. So this is against Warriors Chaos Army with the famous Nurgle Daemon Prince. I particularly like this model. The guy I'm playing, he's like 18 years old. I've known him since he was 14. He's been playing this game forever. He's a real good player. Um, Usually one of the top finishers at tournaments. Anyway, he's part of a gaming club called the Fancy Lads, and their symbol is like an orc or whatever it is. It changes sometimes, with a top hat and a monocle. And he took the trouble to customize this Demon Prince to have a top hat and a monocle on it, and I love it. I think that's absolutely fantastic. So this is his list for the tournament. Swedish comp scores a 5, I believe. So it's pretty tough. I did not score my list according to Swedish comp because it didn't matter. It wasn't what I was doing. And as you know, my lists are wonky for this Bretonnian campaign because I'm trying to get weird stuff. Speaking of which, these are the three I'm going for. So Virtue of Duty is going on my Battle Standard Bearer. I have to put him in the same unit as my general, so I made the general my prophetess, put him in the same unit, gave her Crown of Command, gave them the standard discipline, so that hopefully that BSB can stay alive, the unit won't break, and I can keep her alive. Virtue of the Impetuous Knight, I put on a Paladin, and this time I remembered to put him in a Knight Errant unit. I would have had this Virtue before, but I forgot about that, and I didn't have a Knight Errant unit in the army. So there's that, and they have to always declare a charge whenever possible. I can't even try to attempt to stop it if I want to get this Virtue. And then I have another Paladin with the Virtue of the Joust. That means I can have no peasants in the army, so no trebuchets helping out. And they have to break a cavalry unit on the charge. And this is the virtue that in my mind is the hardest to get, because one, you're hoping that your opponent has a cavalry unit. Two, you have to be able to beat them to the charge. And so I put this paladin with the Knight of the Realm unit with the Banner of Swiftness to give them a better chance of actually making the charge against another cavalry unit. And three, you have to break them on the charge. They can't get lucky and stick and then beat them through another round of combat. So I think the way we designed this one was a little bit difficult. Nevertheless, those are the three I'm going for. And then, of course, to keep the virtues, your characters have to survive, or you can win the game, and then it would count regardless. So overall, it looks like that. We're just playing a battle line to keep things relatively simple. Let's see. He's got, I mean, you saw the Slaanesh and the dogs on the right-hand side. He's got 2 units of Skull Crushers. Behind him, some Halberdiers. Now, with them, he has his Sorcerer Lord, Rock and Slaanesh lore, and other things you can see there. To the left, he's got a Demon Prince, and in front of him, he's got his Battle Standard Bearer, and I'll show him his equipment in just a second. So the Demon Prince is Marco Nurgle, and then, of course, a Charm Shield in case somebody has a cannon. Basically, the thing is, I think my biggest problem with the Demon Prince is that he's unbreakable. I hate that, because anyway, it's a Demon Prince. There's the Exalted Hero BSB. He's on a demonic mount. So kind of interesting, very fast build. And then the way he built his army otherwise is I think very clever. He's got his fast cav have Slaanesh, which is the best thing for them to have, I think, for their purposes. His Skull Crushers are marked Corn. They have the banners you can see. He put his Halberdiers with the Banner of Swiftness, so that way they can kind of keep up with the army. They're also kind of a bunker unit for a Sorcerer Lord, so he doesn't need them leading the way, but when they're needed, it's still a rock-hard unit. Both of his chariots are Mark of Nurgle. He's got his Chimera on the top left, nothing I know has regen. And there's some more dogs on the far left. So I've got Grail Knights on the left, Knights of the Realm with the Banner of Flame. I was putting banners on everything because I ran out of Knight units and I needed to fill the points. So I've got my Knight Errant unit with the Impetuous Knight guy. I gave him 1-up rerollable because my thinking is there's a good chance I'm going to lose games and I need to keep him alive, so that's me trying to keep him alive. My Paladin, he's got the well, he's built, as you can see, he's got the Virtue of Duty, so I can't give my normal build. So I just gave him the Enchanted Shield and a Luckstone for 1 reroll. My biggest concern is keeping him alive. The Prophetess is with them. The reason she has Crown of Command is because if I break from combat, my BSB dies. Can't have that. They've got the Standard of Discipline to try to make sure that doesn't happen. Then I've got some more Knights of the Realm. This has the Paladin with the Joust. This is the one I need to charge a cavalry unit. Now, the fast cav concerns me if he's going to flee with them, because that can be, if he flees and I fail the charge, and then he gets a charge on me, I'm probably not going to get that virtue. I've got 6 Questy Knights, just because I needed to get points in there somehow, and then 4 Peg Knights. I'm sorry, let me take that back. Those Questy Knights are not Questy Knights. Those are Knights Errant, and I just ran out of models. So I just have a cheap unit of 6 Knights Errant there on the right. So he obviously gets to go first because I'm praying, and he parks his fast cav right in front of me. It's still possible that his plan is to flee with them, but it's also possible he's not going to flee, because it seems to me what he's doing is he's making sure I can't get the charge with 4 of my 5 knight units. The one on the right doesn't count because it's so small. And then even if I charge and kill those guys, I'm set up for his counter charges across the board. And I think that is a great strategy. I'm a little bit worried about it. So anyway, looks like that. Chimera's on the left. I really don't know how to avoid a charge by the Chimera into my flank. During magic, some spell targets my battle standard bearer. Luckily, it only does 1 wound, and that's why I love the Lore of Life, because I'm not really worried about it. I'm thinking, you know what, I can regrow that wound. So, Bretonnian turn 1, charges all the way around, and this picture is inaccurate. My Knights Errant that look like Questy Knights, after I took this picture, right as I was about to start the magic phase, I remembered I had to move them, so I moved them up to redirect the Skull Crushers. Anyway, Peg Knights on the right, charging the wolves just to get them out of the way. My plan is to hopefully beat them and then just reform and set up a counter charge into the flank of the Skull Crushers that will have to charge my Knights Errant that are right in their face or do nothing. Here in the middle, I did not charge my BSB's unit into that combat. I didn't need it. It was overkill. I'd rather keep them safe and backed up a little bit. If you look on the left, Impetuous Knight, they declared a charge, and they got it against the BSB. I thought it was my best chance of killing him. I don't think I'm going to do any wounds to him, but I'm going to have it be in a challenge with my Paladin, and so I don't think he's going to do any wounds to me, because he's got a 1-up rerollable, then a 5-up ward. So my plan is to beat him through combat res. If I don't, I'm going to get Skull Crushers and Demon Prince in the flank, and my unit is toast. There we go. Action shot. So let's see. After combat, yeah, Peg Knights have reformed. The fast cav on the right. Oh, they stuck for that charge. So that means that my rightmost knight unit that you can see down here, the Knights of the Realm, they charged and they broke a cavalry unit on the charge. I was so glad, so glad that he stuck with that unit instead of fleeing with them. I'd have been a little bit happier if that unit had gone, if that remaining Marauder had gone another couple inches and been right in front of his Skull Crushers, but it wasn't to be. But I have 1 virtue there on the right. The other 2 virtues I can't get until the game is over and things pan out well. If you look on the left, let's see if I have a picture of it. Yeah, what I thought would happen happened. We got in a pillow fight between my Paladin and his Exalted. No wounds exchanged. I had a charge, banner, 2 ranks, beat him through combat res, panicked 1 chariot, and got the charge into the other chariot. So now the only thing he can countercharge with is his Demon Prince, and I don't love it, but what you gonna do? I do have Flesh to Stone up on these guys, which helped and which will help in the following round of combat. Here on the left, my Grail Knights are the ones that charged the fast cav unit, killed him completely, and then I wanted to reform to face the Chimera, and I realized I couldn't do it and stay an inch away from my own unit unless I got a real wonky formation, and then my fear was that Chimera could fly over their head and just do something else, and then it would waste another turn or 2 with me reforming. So I said, screw it. If they want to charge my Grail Knights in the flank, I'm just going to have to take it and hope I get lucky. So he charges his Chimera into the flank of the Grail Knights, and I'm hoping that I get lucky. Skull Crushers in the middle come charging into the unit that I had charged ahead with. This is precisely why I did not charge in with my BSB's unit, because I did not want the Skull Crushers charging them. They're much more vulnerable. As it is, the Knights of the Realm on the right will be steadfast, and then I can countercharge and hopefully that will go well. Skullcrushers up top charge my Knights Errant that look suspiciously like Questing Knights. And Daemon Prince comes into the flank of this unit. So I'm going to type as Daemon Prince with my champion as long as I can. My hope is, let's say he kills my champion now in my phase. In my turn, if I can cast Regrowth, the champion comes back, I can tie him up again. I think my Paladin is somewhat survivable with a 1-up rerollable plus a 5-up, but he only has 2 wounds, and so it doesn't take much for that Daemon Prince to kill him. So I'm trying to stave that off as long as possible. So after combat, if you look, first off, you look to the left with the Grail Knights. Chimera comes in, does 0 wounds. I was amazed. I've looked at it since then. He comes in with 6 attacks. He should hit 3. He should wound at probably 3. Unless he gets lucky and only wounds 2, then my guys will get a, I guess basically a 5-up, 5-up, or a 4-up, 5-up. Anyway, so all I have to do is get a little bit lucky, and he doesn't do a single one. I've got a banner and 2 ranks. He's got a charge and a flank. I think I actually won combat. And if not, it doesn't matter. Obviously, I stuck, and I pushed 1 wound through on him. I couldn't really reform again. I couldn't because of the distance, unless I couldn't reform and stay in lance formation. Let's put it that way. So I decided for now just to stay in that formation. If you look at the top, Daemon Prince comes in. He kills my champion. And otherwise, my lance hits his chariot and kills it. And that's nice. His other chariot that panicked before rallied, so now he's just going to come crashing again, but that's okay. If you look on the right, Skullcrushers beat my Knights Errant unit and ran him down and ran pretty far, but they're still within line of sight of my Peg Knights. So it cost me a Knight Errant unit, a small one, but I will get that flank charge. I'm not sure if the Peg Knights can pull that off and actually have it work, but it's the best chance I have against that. Skullcrushers in the middle come in, they kill 2 or 3 Knights. I'm steadfast and stuck. So, action shots all the way around. Bretonnian turn 2. I can't believe we're in turn 2 and we are mixing it up already. So the big, there's really my Grail Knights and Knight unit on the left are already tied up. My Knights of the Realm with the Flaming Banner, which doesn't mean anything, they charge the Halberdier Sorcerer unit on the hill. I'm touching the Sorcerer, so every attack that can't go on the Sorcerer is going on the Sorcerer. So if nothing else, I don't know if I can win that combat. If I can kill the Sorcerer, it will still help. I charge my BSB's unit into the Skullcrushers, give me as much combat res as possible. Peg Knights go into the flank of the Skullcrushers. And that did not go well for the Warriors. So let's start on the right. Peg Knights come into the flank of the Skullcrushers. Because he only has 1 attacking me, he isn't able to do much. I think he kills maybe 1 Peg Knight. I do whatever I do. I win combat. He has no reroll. He breaks. I do not get into the flank of the other Skullcrusher unit, but it ended up not mattering. I charge in there. If you look at the 2 Knight units that he was facing, he didn't kill that many Knights, maybe 2 or 3. And I don't know what I did wounds-wise, but obviously I won combat, broke, and ran him down. The only heartbreaking thing was when my Knight unit charges Halberdiers of Sorcerer. I got 2 wounds out of 3 on the Sorcerer, so I couldn't quite kill him. We broke the Halberdiers from combat, which was awesome. He just totally fluffed his attacks. I was making saves. Everything went my way until I tried to run him down, and he got away. And that was heartbreaking because that unit is so rock hard. It's so hard to beat him. I got so lucky beating him in combat that you need to get the points when you can, and the guys couldn't do it. If you look on the left, I think his Daemon Prince had to fight my resurrected champion, and he killed him again, but that's okay. And look at the bottom left. Grail Knights, that Chimera comes in this time, and he only does 1 wound on me. I push a wound back on him. I think it was with a horse, but he had a flank and a wound. I had a rank, a banner. I win by musician. He breaks, and the Grail Knights run him down. Bad turn for the Warriors of Chaos. So Warriors of Chaos turn 3. His failed panic test chariot charges in to the front of my Knight unit. He rallies his Halberdiers, which kind of knew he would. And then, things were looking so bleak for him, but then he gets the magic phase and gets some Slanesh spell off, big version that targets every enemy unit within 12 inches, hits all my Knight units. And for 3 of the 4, I just kind of shrugged it off. It did 1, 2, maybe 3 wounds, whatever. But look at that rightmost unit. Just blasted that unit. Absolutely tore it up. They are now they're out of the fight. They are ineffective. I can't do anything with them. So that kept the game interesting. Over here, I'm in a challenge now with my Paladin, and I really thought the Daemon Prince would go ahead and kill him, even though I have a 1-up rerollable and a 5-up, but he didn't get any wounds through. So I'm telling you, this game, more than any game I've played in recent memory, if I need a roll, I'm getting it. I need a 5-up ward, I get a 5-up ward. It's awesome. The chariot comes in and just pounds the unit, takes off a lot, but I'm still steadfast and I stick, which is the most important thing. And it's why I love Lore of Life, because there's always the hope that I can just regrow some knights and all is not lost. Bretonnian turn 3. So I go ahead and charge the knight unit into the halberdier unit again. His Sorcerer Lord has 2 wounds on him. Every attack that I can is going against him. Get a lot of points, take that threat out of the game. I'm not really hopeful that I can beat that unit again. I don't know what I was doing with my BSB's unit. In hindsight, I don't know why I just didn't charge him in. Give me a lot more combat res. I think my fear is if I did that, the only way I could do it is if my BSB was in combat. I didn't want him killing my BSB because he's not really that survivable because he has that virtue of duty. So I think I was just trying to keep the Paladin alive. I was confident that my knights, even if they didn't win the combat, that they should be fine and be able to stick, so I wasn't worried about him. The worst thing that could happen is if he beat my knights in combat and then on his turn could charge the flank of my BSB's unit. I was confident it wouldn't happen. In hindsight, looking at it now, I'm thinking I don't know why I was that confident. It seems like a pretty decent chance he could do that. Anyway, yeah, on the right, I didn't charge the depleted unit Knights of the Realm in because I didn't think it was going to do any good. Peg Knights flew up so they could offer a counter charge if I'm still around in a couple combat rounds. Magic Phase grows back some Knights. That has to be frustrating. The problem now is I can't feed my champion to the Daemon Prince because we're already in a challenge with the Paladin, so that's kind of a bummer. After combat, it looks like that. So we actually put 2 wounds on the chariot. The chariot kills 3 knights, but we're steadfast. We're fine. We actually win combat. The chariot breaks, so it's just going to rally and charge again next turn. Things like I don't know if it's good or bad that I'm breaking it from combat. Yeah, the knights charging the halberdier unit just get slapped. I think I lose 5 out of the 9 knights. I'm not steadfast, but amazingly I stick. I had the reroll, and because of the standard discipline, I'm at a 9, not a 9. Well, 9 minus combat res rerollable, and it worked out. So his turn, he rallies the darn chariot on the left. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot to do except kill knights. You see the halberdiers has my unit down to 2. I don't know what he should have done there, but I felt very lucky that I have 2 left at this point. His Daemon Prince can't put a wound on my Paladin yet again. Just amazing. Again, I don't know what math is on that. My guess is he should be doing at least 1 wound a turn, and he's not. Yeah, so it looks like that. Go to the Brett's turn. I reform my BSB's unit because I decided to quit being stupid. So that way, if the halberdiers charge him, at least it's in my front. Peg Knights come to the flank of that unit. I'm not going to break these halberdiers, but at least I'm hoping I can tie them up. That if he kills the knight unit, the Peg Knight unit might at least hold him in place. If you notice, his sorcerer's gone, so I was able to put the last wound on him. So that's a huge threat out of the game. There's a blurry picture action shot of the Peg Knights coming in. This is the Paladin that was in the depleted Knight of the Realm unit. I decided that he had already won his virtue, and I should win the game, but you never know, so I took him out of the unit. He is racing towards the back corner to stay alive so I can keep that virtue. You probably forgot that I had Grail Knights on the table. So I think it was on Bretonnian turn 2 that they chased down the Chimera, so turn 3 they moved up. Turn 4 they tried to charge the chariot and failed the charge, so they're on my next turn, they should be able to charge in. Got Flesh to Stone up on my remaining 2 knights, and because of that, he was only able to kill one of them. So I was kind of bummed. I was hoping I'd get Flesh to Stone and Regrowth, but it's too much to hope for. You can't do everything. Yeah, so there's only one guy left. But he's there. He's got the points so far. So Warriors turn 5 brings his Hounds. Have been sitting around all game. They come into the flank of that knight unit. I'm not sure why, but I think there are some advantages to doing it. You notice he really kind of slapped around my Peg Knights. I'm in a challenge with my champion and his champion, and eventually I win that challenge. I don't know if I've won it at this point yet or not. Chariot comes in again, and so I'm losing knights, but my Paladin has not taken a wound. I can't believe how resilient this guy has been. Bretonnian turn 5. Grail Knights come to the flank of the chariot, so they're going to easily beat them and overrun, and then should have a nice charge if we're still around with the warriors of the halberdiers next time around. The BSB, I got confused for a second. The Battle Standard Bearers unit charge in to the hounds. They're not actually in combat with the halberdiers. There it is. There's a better picture. So again, my hope is here that maybe I can cast Regrowth and get some more knights in that original unit just to keep them around if I can. Not that it really matters, to be honest. So after combat, the Grail Knights kill the chariot, but when I overrun, I roll like a 12, which is really kind of bad because it actually narrows their line of sight for those halberdiers. The halberdiers kill the last knight. My knights kill all the warhounds, so I'm out of combat, and they reform to face the peg knights. So I'm kind of thinking now that I have the game won, and so I'm not willing to risk any paladin I have any more than I have to. If you look on the left, my paladin now has 1 wound, so I'm really scared now because I know I've been lucky that his Daemon Prince hasn't killed my guy. So now it's really important that I win the game, so I don't have to worry about it. So his turn, he kills the peg knight and reforms so that my Grail Knights can't see him. In this angle, it looks like I can, but I don't know how that works, but I couldn't. When you're there in person, you saw different angles. I couldn't see him. So on my turn, I had the choice to charge my Battle Standard Bearers unit into his halberdiers. I kind of think I would have won it. Probably would have beaten him and run him down. I couldn't take the chance. I couldn't take the chance of killing my BSB and me snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. So I just stuck around. I think during the magic, I was probably casting spells trying to take the wound off my paladin who's in fight with the Daemon Prince. When all's said and done, the Daemon Prince couldn't kill my paladin. They just stuck there the whole game. And it looks like that. So, Virtue of Duty, BSB was with the general the whole game, and the general stayed alive. Got that. Virtue of Impetuous Knight. We charged on turn 1 and never could charge the rest of the game because we're tied up with the Daemon Prince, so we got that. Virtue of the Joust. I didn't take any peasants, and we charged the fast cav unit on turn 1 and got that. And I won the game, and all my peasants survived. So for the campaign, that puts me at, I believe, 8. I think I had 5 going into this game. Again, I had to re-earn the Impetuous Knight virtue. So I think I'm at 8 after 5 games. I haven't really been doing the updates as a campaign. I think that's really good because of what happened with Malorian. But we'll see. That means I still have 5 to go, and a lot can happen. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.